From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, January the 15th, 2025. We open with the long-awaited news that a hostage release ceasefire deal between Israel and terror group Hamas has been reached, announced today by U.S. President Joe Biden from the White House.
At long last, I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas.
The president laid out general terms for the three phases of the deal.
Phase 1 will last 6 weeks. It includes a full and complete ceasefire, withdrawal of Israeli forces from all the populated areas of Gaza, and the release of a number of hostages held by Hamas, including women and elderly and the wounded. And I'm proud to say Americans will be part of that hostage release in Phase 1 as well. Then, when Phase 2 begins, there will be an exchange for release of the remaining living hostages, including male soldiers, and all remaining Israeli forces will be withdrawn from Gaza, and the temporary ceasefire will become permanent. And finally, Phase 3, any final remains of hostages who have been killed will be returned to their families, and a major reconstruction plan for Gaza will begin.
It is being reported that 33 hostages would be released in the first phase of the deal, the first 3 of whom could be set free as soon as Sunday. President Biden saying, even as we welcome this news, we remember all the families whose loved ones were killed in Hamas's October 7th attack and the many innocent people killed in the war that followed. I am also thinking, he said, of the American families, 3 of whom have living hostages in Gaza and 4 awaiting return of remains after what has been the most horrible ordeal imaginable. The president saying, under this deal, we are determined to bring all of them home. In exchange for the release of the 33 hostages in Phase 1, Israel will release hundreds of Palestinian security prisoners. There was no official word from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as of the time of the taping of this newscast in regards to the deal, but Israel's Security Cabinet will be meeting reportedly tomorrow morning to approve the deal. The IDF today announced Wings of Freedom, it wrote, is the name given to its preparations for the return of the hostages, and the IDF commented on that post, "This is what we have been fighting for." And the families of the American hostages in Gaza issued a statement upon the news today saying, "We thank President Biden, President-elect Trump, and their teams for their constructive efforts to make this possible." The tireless collaboration between Israel, Egypt, Qatar, the United States, and other parties was critical in reaching this moment. The families asking all parties to stay committed to this agreement every phase until it is fully implemented and everyone has been returned. Jewish organizations here in the U.S. responded to the news, the Anti-Defamation League writing for over 15 months. Family members, friends, and many across Israel and the world fought tirelessly and unwaveringly on behalf of the hostages, and today there is finally hope that they will return home. We are deeply appreciative to all those involved in helping this agreement come to fruition, including President Biden and President-elect Trump, who have long committed to ensure the release of the hostages. We call on the incoming Trump administration and relevant global and regional actors to make certain that Hamas upholds its commitments and releases all hostages. World Jewish Congress President Ambassador Ronald Lauder wrote, "For 467 days, Israel has endured an intolerable position, forced into a fight not of its choosing, but one of survival. The terror unleashed by Hamas on October the 7th should have left no room for moral ambiguity, Yet, Lauder said, for more than a year, the world capitulated to the values of a terrorist organization and failed to act decisively to end this nightmare. Today's announcement, he said, provides a glimmer of hope. We cannot and will not rest until every remaining hostage is brought home. Lauder saying this is not just Israel's battle, it is a fight for the values of humanity itself. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS. For Wednesday, January the 15th, at 7 o'clock, David Harris sits with activist Hoover Institute Fellow and former Dutch Member of Parliament Ayaan Hirsi Ali to discuss the rise in antisemitism in the Netherlands. At 7:30, we pay tribute to staunch Israel advocate, the late Olga Meshoe Washington, with an airing of her appearance on Eye on Israel. Washington died suddenly on January the 6th. At 8, Shalom Hartman Institute President Yehuda Kurtzer offers a new framework to ensure the future vitality of American Judaism. At 9, it's Ellen Hershkin on L'chaim. At 10, we bring you Isaac Herzog's speech from the Jewish Federation of North America's General Assembly. At 10:30, an encore of the news. And coming up next, it's Thinking Out Loud. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, January the 15th, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.